we're streaming to Renter's Warehouse and Mr. Texas, and that's it. So do so the Mr. Texas. We don't have a Texas Real Estate Network Facebook. I gotcha. There you go. I don't know if I can share to the other Renter's Warehouse page. So I saw Alex is posting comments. Smart Alex. Hmm. Which states are investor friendly? So, what do y'all think? I think so. I'm gonna stand up for a minute. Yeah, you're right. It's hot as Hades in here. I'm gonna crack this door. Is there no? There's a duct up there. Huh. These office buildings are terrible for AC. You just tell me. I'm ready when you are. I don't really care. I don't get all worked up about all this stuff. You? Nah. Oh yeah. That's us. Yeah, it's on there already. Look at there. The show will start shortly. So we're live, but nobody can see it. Nobody's hearing us. Uh-huh. It's like having a wife. You hear this murmur in the background. Ready when you are. Three, two, one, go. Uh-oh, we're back. Hey guys, guy. I think there's one whole person watching, so that's kind of cool. Uh-oh, now there's two. Anyhow, I wanted to talk about a little bit more real estate and a little bit more. Well, I guess folks don't know who the heck I am. Maybe care. Some might not. But grew up in a little small East Texas town. Ended up going to the military, and they say how do you know if somebody is a pilot? Just wait, they'll tell you. So I flew planes for the Navy for about 6 years. Um, got to see about 20 something countries. 24 is how many I've been to, not just all in the Navy, but 24 total countries. Kind of cool. Um, Want to see a few more. My wife and I travel quite a bit. Our plan is to become vagabonds. So we want to get a small home base, maybe in the hill country somewhere. Kind of have a place to come home to and call home, but spend long periods of time overseas or in the Caribbean, Central America. Costa Rica is one of the places we're dialed in on. But I'm telling you guys, real estate's what's enabled us to do this. I'm just 52. I'm 52 years old now, um, but I got a couple more years of what I would call full time, and I'm gonna kind of take a breather and do a little traveling. I can, anybody can now. There's not a real good reason for me to be here. Getting in the car, commuting to work, commuting home, spending that 8 hours when I can, to be quite honest, probably be as or more effective at home. I work from home on Fridays now, and occasionally, I'll stay home because I got something going on that I need to work on. But you're in the office, you get interrupted quite a bit. So I kind of like the mobile office type situation and the vagabond idea. Kind of be an expat in a way, but not permanent. I don't know if I would like living in a third world country or even another first world country that Everything's different, and you get a little frustrated with this. And it's all rainbows and unicorns when you get there, but after some time, 3 6 months, day to day sets in, and it's probably not quite as as great as your ideals were. Um, but what we found is kind of neat. Airbnb.com/sublet, and that's a mini site inside of Airbnb of properties that will rent by the month, which is kind of cool. So you get a pretty significant discount on a lot of them. Some of them are 10, 15%. Some of them are half off. So you can stay in a $200 a night for $2,800 a month. So you're talking about it super cheap. And if you go to like Costa Rica, Panama, Belize, Honduras, all these different places, well, 125 a night is a pretty nice place. So you get that for $1,500 a month. Includes your utilities, your Wi-Fi, includes a resort quality pool, somebody mowing the grass, doing everything, right? So my thought would be, if you have a rather frugal home base, where you don't need the space, you don't need all the stuff that you need when you're there full time. Heck, you go overseas and spend 3 months here, 2 months here, do the Airbnb thing. And we've even talked about, I know you the guys that follow Jason have seen the Airbnb situation with them, and they've acquired quite a few. We're considering buying a few of those as well, and having them stationed around Texas, one in the Hill Country, one in College Station. Got a kiddo in College Station. He's a junior, so he'll be out next year. My oldest went there, 2010 graduate. So, I love College Station. I love the atmosphere, love the people there. So I'd like to have a place there. Rent it when you're gone. But if you're coming back and you need a month or two in Texas, stay in your Airbnb and be gone. But anyway, after the Navy, like 96, we kind of talked about this before. I started buying houses, buy wholesale. So we'd buy a house, and me and my partner, we'd drive around and write down. This is great. So we write down addresses. Drive around and look for high grass, mail piled up in the mailbox, boarded up houses, and we'd make a list of addresses, and we used the key map. If anybody remembers key maps, it looked like a damn catalog, but it was a map of Houston. Very detailed. So we drive, and we call it driving for dollars. We'd write down all the addresses and kind of put a little note out there, boarded up, high grass, whatever. Looks vacant. For sale by owner. Anything like that. But it needed to be in disrepair if it was for sale by owner. So we'd go back. We'd get on the computer, which they did have the internet then, but not as sophisticated as it is now. And we'd go to Harris County Appraisal District, find the owner's name. If it was Elmer Signorelli, then there would be one or two in the phone book. If it was Joe Smith, we'd just throw it away because there's 1,000 of those in Houston. So we'd find the Elmers and we'd call them all and say, hey, you don't happen to be the Elmer that owns this house on 123 First Street. As a matter of fact, I am. Do you want to sell it? So that's how we bought houses. And so if we buy a house and we'd wholesale it and make $3,000, we thought we were Rockefeller. I mean, we were getting rich on real estate. Well, then we bump into my buddy from college, and he's in Homevestors, which is the We Buy Ugly Houses deal. Well, they were buying 5 houses a month, and they were advertising using billboards. And we're like, well, what a great idea. Well, we don't have enough money to buy those many houses. Well, they'll give you the money to buy the houses with hard money. So we go meet the folks that started the Homevestors, and we end up buying a Homevestor franchise. Became the biggest franchise in the country. We were the 12th franchise, and I believe now there's 700 or 800 nationwide. So 1,600 houses later, here we are. My partners and I started Renter's Warehouse because we wanted something that could scale, right? Buying and flipping houses is extremely difficult to scale, and if it's not impossible, but it's very difficult to scale, and that's just something that most people don't do. They'll do 5 or 10 a month, and you're done. 5 or 10 a month, and you're as busy as you can be, and unless you are willing to let go of all control of all the entire process, it's a very difficult thing to scale. So we wanted something like this to that Renter's Warehouse, it could grow to an unlimited size because you just add another unit, add another unit. So we've built a pretty good business there. Um, we own about 100 rent houses now, 30, 40 notes, and we kind of just getting to the point where it's almost boring. I do enjoy talking about real estate. I enjoy buying houses. I enjoy all that, but at the same time, at 52, I wanna travel a little more than I am now, and my wife is excited about it. We have a couple of puppy dogs and some goats and chickens, so we're gonna have to figure out what to do with the goats and chickens. But the dogs can go with. So we're gonna see what we can do about it, and that's it. Anybody wants to join, they can meet us in Costa Rica and hang out. Um, I think Costa Rica is going to be the first place. We're going to be there for a while and see what comes next. But we'll be back in a few. Just wanted to kind of give you guys a little background on who I am and what our kind of plans are, and kind of see if you know who you're dealing with. So we'll be right back. That was boring. So we're still streaming and people see it now, or we're still streaming and they see the show will start shortly? So they see the commercials going situation. It won't post to that page though. Yeah, it needs to be defaulted to public. Yeah. It is really hot, isn't it? Yeah. Oh, I was just agreeing with him. I wasn't complaining. Yeah. Yeah, he wore his thermals today because he knew it was gonna be hot. He only wore one though. He should be in like flip flops and shorts. Michael Berry, the talk guy. I was up at this iHeart one night recording a segment on a show, and he comes out of the freaking studio. He just got done with his show. No lie, flip flops, a raggedy shorts, a t-shirt, and a ball cap on backwards. He looked like a hobo. He's like, this is my work clothes. It's funny. No, he is fantastic on the radio. He is just genius on the radio. Hmm. Well, now that they're doing the Facebook Live, people are having to actually be reasonably presentable because a lot of stations are doing that now. You know, you know who else is audience that's watching on Facebook feel like you're their buddy, right? You're hanging out, and it builds a connection. It's pretty smart. They've done a great job doing that. You know who else is genius is Sarah Pepper. You know that name? She's on a station that does like pop music, so I don't listen to it. She is just awesome. All right, ready? We're knock this out. We're not gonna take 3 hours, are we? Three, two, one, go. What are we talking about now? Doing another personal? You said we need one for each show. All right. Okay. Yep. Uh-oh, we're live again. Here we are. Hey, I want to thank everybody again for being here and listening in or watching in or what have you. Remember us at Renters Warehouse. Check us out. But I wanted to talk about how do you find the right rental property? How do you find a good house, right? Besides your own house, which is probably not a good one. You don't want to buy in a war zone, right? You don't want to buy $1 million house. You don't necessarily need a beachfront for a traditional rental. Maybe a Airbnb, but that's not a traditional rental. So what I look for personally, there's two specific types. A 322 brick in the suburbs on a slab, as new as possible. You obviously you don't get to be real picky. You get a good deal, you get a good deal. You want to look at the high school. Okay, schools are important. Elementary school is important. Middle school is important. High school is premium importance. The most important thing as far as location, because people move because of what the high school is. Great football, great band, great choir, great this, great that, right? They want their kids to go to a good high school. So once you look around and you find, several suburbs and you start searching, there's so many tools out there to find the houses. There's different types of search stuff. You go in Renters Warehouse, for instance, you can go into the investor toolbox there, and you can search the MLS for Houston by yield. How about that? So you go in, you search, I want to look at these 20 zip codes, or I want to look between this price and this price, and then sort it by yield. And what it does is it takes the estimated rent. It's not perfect. It's going to take an estimated rent, and then it's going to figure out the yield with putting in parameters like vacancy, repairs, that kind of stuff. So what you do, you go in there, you find a half a dozen that you like. And then this is MLS, guys. There's houses on MLS you can buy right now that will cash flow and will build wealth. So you don't think you got to go steal a house and buy it for next to nothing just to get you a house, a rent house. So I think the key is just do it. And a lot of people, what do they call paralysis by analysis, right? They overanalyze everything. We're addicted to research now. When I buy an $8 extension cord, I spend 45 minutes looking at reviews on Amazon like a freaking idiot. Just buy one and move on. If it breaks, buy another one. So for houses, of course, it's not quite a good comparison, but we overanalyze everything because we have so much data now, because of all the review sites. You got to be very careful with reviews in general. You go to a review site that's owned by the company that is being reviewed, who knows how they're filtering that stuff. Anyway, I digress. So once you find your niche, right? Oh, the second section of houses is, and Eddie will tell you this over and over too, Eddie Gant, the knucklehead that I do the big event with, third Wednesday, Republic Country Club, free beer, free food. A 4-bedroom in the hood. That will cash flow like you've never seen. It'll stay rented. And, just be careful. Don't buy the worst street. Don't, go crazy and overbuild it. But don't make it junky. Make it nice. But those things stay rented, and people don't want to leave because, you can't find a 4-bedroom in most of the neighborhoods. We focus a lot in the southeast side of Houston. We do very well over there. It's funny as it's South Park is, Sunnyside, South Park, South Union, McGregor Terrace, all these neighborhoods, Scott Terrace, all these neighborhoods have been what people call the hood. And now I get wholesale deals from people that says Medical Center South. And I go, really? Sunnyside's now some Medical Center South. Come on, guys. Anyway, marketing 101, I guess, make it sound better than it is. And when they drive down the street, they go, huh, medical center, huh? What are all those drug dealers doing over there in the medical center south? But anyhow, so that 4 bedroom in the hood's a good rental too. What I've also found is, we bought a lot of houses in the hood over the last 20, 22 years. And, 10, 15 years ago, you buy a house for 15 grand that was boarded up or vacant or just trashed. You put 15, 20 in it and you rent it for $5.95 or sell it for $59.9. We would sell houses back in the 90s for $59.9 in the hood, and people go, "Oh, you're ripping people off. That's too much." And they're 130, 150 now. So, tell me about too much. But the great part about that is we paid 15 for these things. 15, 20 years later, they've been paid for forever. The tenants paid for them because they paid us more than it cost us to pay the debt and the day-to-day. And now they're worth $130,000. So, you want to look at that. I'm doing one in Edo, and good Lord, this Edo thing is funny. East of downtown, near east side, upper east, this, whatever. So I think we paid 50 for it, 40 or 50 for it. And a house just sold a couple blocks away for $450 that was smaller than this house. So we're going to put about $100,000 into it to rehab it and make it just incredibly beautiful and sell it. And you say, well, why would you sell it? Well, it's not a 322 in the suburbs, which is my wheelhouse. However, over the years, I've done great as far as rent versus my investment, right? So return on my investment's been great. But when you have a $400,000, $500,000 neighborhood and you can only get $1,800 in rent, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to lock that much equity up or that much cash up to get this small of a return. Now, again, it was a good return, right? Can we see the board here? I don't know how to write. So let's say you had a $100,000 investment. Technology, man, we got some good pens. You got a $100,000 investment, and it makes $1,250 a month, right? You say, that's pretty good. Well, in this house, I got a $50,000 investment that's making $1,700, and you say, which one's better? This one, right? Well, wrong, because this house is worth $100. The value is $100. The value of this is $450. Well, how about I sell this, put another $100 in it, I'm in it for $150. Sell it for $450. I walk off with, we'll just call it $250 with all the expenses and realtor this and BS expense here and gotcha here, because it's not going to be $100. It's going to be $110 when you're all said and done. You're going to sit there, let it be vacant for a while, pay taxes. So let's call it $250. How many 322 bricks can I buy with 20% down with this? And let's say I buy them all for $100 and I put $25 into each. I can buy 10 houses that are bringing in $1,250. That makes $12,500 with the same money. Why in the world would I keep this house? Now, do I think that this house may appreciate through the roof like a mother some more? Maybe I make a decision to hold it, but that's still speculating, right? So my decision now is to sell this house. I'm going to create this much cash and then turn around and buy 10 more rentals. Everybody that's listening on the radio can't see what I did, but people that are watching, if you're listening on the radio and you go to Facebook, go to renterswarehouse.com, you can see this. You know what minute we are in the segment? They'll find it. But what you want to do is check it out and see if you can find the right houses, buy the right houses, and do the right thing with the ones you have, right? Be right back. That was a good section. You learn anything on that one? You see these regular folks walking around and they know a lot of stuff about how to do, like Jason. He knows a lot of stuff about a lot of stuff. Well, just looking at him, you think he's just a guy, right? Going to work in a cubicle somewhere. Well, he he's got enough knowledge to make a whole lot of money and to show others how to do it. So that's kind of why I wanted to do this. Is one, you know, want more people to know who Renters Warehouse is, and maybe they want to do some business. But two, you can help other people. I can help more people build wealth rather than less. So the more stuff we do, the more people we get the word out to. Hopefully, the more people will buy houses, make them into rentals, or change their mind and say, "Hey, this is going to be one of my exit strategies." Right?
Yeah, I've been absorbing everything because I plan on getting into real estate as well. Yeah, I plan on going into business with my dad because he's a contractor, so he knows the ins and outs of like, fixing houses, building houses,
Yeah. Well,
foundations,
that's a good help. That's the hardest part about investing is the construction. The most challenging. I'm ready when you are. I'm ready. Hey, we're back. Hey, I was just talking on the break with Alex. He's the head technical guru here, talking about getting into real estate and how he listens to all these radio shows and learns and such. So it's kind of interesting. His family knows construction, and his father's in the construction business. Well, heck, he's got a leg up there, because I think the most challenging part of this whole thing is, well, two things. One, finding deals, and two is the construction end. It is super easy to get upside down with contractors, get taken advantage of by contractors. Heck, I've been doing this for 22 years, and I just got taken by a contractor about 6 months ago. So it happens to us. We all make mistakes. We all trust the wrong person. So it's interesting to talk to him. He's got a huge advantage because he buys stuff that just needs some light upgrades. He can have that ready to go right away and not really have the risk that most folks have. So I applaud him for thinking that way. I'm erasing all this stuff. We might need to talk about something else. Anyhow. So back to the houses. We're going to have to run this one right after the one before. Buying the right houses, doing the right thing with the assets. So if you're actually going to advertise to buy houses or spend money to find properties, you're going to want to be able to buy every house you can. And if it's not a good opportunity for a rental, you want to do something else with it. Don't keep a house. Here's what we did. We would buy about 100 houses a year. 130 something was the most we ever did in a year. We'd do 80 one year, 110 the next. Anyhow, so what we did was we'd buy them, fix them, and sell them. And then what we did, we thought, well, heck, if we don't sell them, we'll just keep them as a rental. Well, here's what happened. We kept all the junk. We called it sludge. We didn't realize what we did, but we took all the worst houses and said, hey, we'll just keep these. Well, there was a reason why they didn't sell. Well, the better idea was the rougher houses or the worst house or this probably should have been a wholesale deal. Make a couple bucks and move on. When you get that 322 in the suburbs, keep that one for your rentals, right? I think a lot of people, square peg round hole, right? You want to make sure that you're doing the right thing with that asset. Airbnb is another one. I've bought houses in Galveston, Jamaica Beach, beach house type things. Why in the world would you not consider that as another way to handle it? I know Jason right now is building a process to be able to manage those for folks. So that's another thing you could do. You can own the Airbnb but not have to deal with the day-to-day. Renters Warehouse is not even going to do that. Don't even ask. But I know Jason's thinking about doing that. So you want to take the asset that you have and do the right thing with it. But for most people, they're true investors. They're not house buying guys. Building a house buying business is hard. Scaling it's difficult. It's not glamorous. It's not HGTV. It's dirty, stinky, fleas, bed bugs, you name it. So most investors are, an engineer, a doctor, or this. Keep your day job if that's your situation. Keep your day job and find someone to help you find houses. Like we have realtors that work for us that their whole job is to help potential landlords find houses. So you kind of give them your parameters, what your financial situation looks like, and they will go and look. Because if you walk into a Keller Williams or a Remax and start talking about yield and cash on cash and expense ratios, it's like 1,000-yard stare. What do they call it? A 10-yard stare in a 5-yard room, right? They have no idea what you're talking about. Well, our realtors, that's what they do. So they understand how to analyze a property for yield and how to analyze a property that's going to cover its expenses, make a couple bucks, and likely appreciate in the long run. So holler at us if you want some help with that, because we really do a good job finding good assets for you to buy. I buy houses today, but there's just, don't say, well, you're only going to sell me the ones that are junk that you didn't want. Well, not really, because I have other things to do. I don't buy every house that's a good deal out on the market. It's just not practical. There's hundreds of houses in Houston today that you could buy that would cash flow and become great rentals, and they're on the market right now, every single day. And I just saw a post on Facebook on the break. A 30-year fix is like barely over 3 right now. It's ridiculous. So get this done while rates are low, guys. Just do it. So if you're an investor, you keep your day job. You can do 20-25% down, and if you want to be real conservative, 30% down, just to have a little more cash flow and a little less risk, right? On that time where you have a couple of vacancies. I also recommend never buy 1 or 2 rentals. Buy 10. Okay. Now it's okay to have 1 or 2 until you get to 10, but follow me here. If you have 2 rental houses and 1 goes vacant, you're at 50% vacancy rate. You're writing a check to operate, guys. You're writing a check every month to operate until that house is occupied. If you have 10 and 2 are vacant, you're fine. Right? So you want to get enough houses where 1 or 2 vacancies here and there, 1 or 2 issues here and there, 1 or 2 defaults, because there's going to be problems. Those don't kill you, right? Because if you're making enough money to put away enough to buy a house here and there, that's great. That doesn't mean you have the cash to be writing a check every single month to operate. So you want to have that. You want to have enough units to have a little cushion where you can have a vacancy or 2. So those guys that have David Brock's a great example. He's a buddy of mine. I've known him for years, and he bought a bunch of houses from us a long time ago. He's got one he bought from us for like $25,000 wholesale. He's been renting it for $1,000 or so the last couple of years, and he's rehabbing it right now, and he'll put it on the market for probably $149,000. So he paid $25,000. He's going to sell it for $150,000. David is a highly compensated sales professional. He's a national sales director for a company you've all heard of. So he's just, he's like, well, I got too much exposure in the stock market. I need more houses. So part of our day is helping David find more rent houses. He loves them. So maybe we'll have David on sometime. He's a great. I don't know why anybody would do anything other than buy single family rentals right now. The prices are still okay. Houston is so cheap compared to the country. There's still a good market to buy. And we'll talk about is how to get a 30% return on investment without really doing anything. We'll also talk about how to find these houses and how much cash flow should you have or shouldn't you have. We'll talk about how to track your utilities, your maintenance, we call it replacement reserves, HVAC, all that stuff. So we've got a lot of stuff to cover over the next few weeks, and I think it'll be pretty interesting. There's a lot of things to think about. There's a lot of things that we'll just do for you. But if you have houses now and you want us to take them over, we'll do that. If you haven't bought any yet, go play around on that investor marketplace and see what you see. There's a lot of good stuff out in Houston right now to buy. I'm so bullish on Houston rental market. I don't know what to say. Airbnb is another thing. there's a way to make money there. But we'll be right back, and we'll talk soon. I'm too much. And umming. What do you think?
It's just natural. That's what it is.
When I'm on stage, I don't do it at all. So we got what? 2 more? 3 more? 2 more, I think. All right. Kind of all over the place, though. Got to quit doing that. What do you think I ought to talk about? More house stuff or more personal stuff?
The last segment, so it's kind of up to you. You can go either way.
Is this going to be a 4 on one of the shows, probably?
What?
The last segment on one of the shows, probably?
This will be the last segment. So it's pretty much up to you.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, you ready?
Mm-hmm. Ready. Well, howdy, folks. We're back. Texas Hold'em. I thought that was kind of clever. Texas Hold'em. Hold the houses, get it. It's like a real estate / gambling thing. Texas Hold'em. Everybody gets it, I'm sure. It's not that funny though, but I thought it was funny. So, anybody like poker? I wouldn't mind a game to play if anybody wants to let us know where there's a good game. But anyway. So we were talking about rent houses and how to pick the right one and how to do all that stuff. The great part about it is it doesn't take a lot of your time. Buying and holding rental properties, it's almost no time. For us, we take care of the day-to-day stuff. We collect the rent, we manage the repairs, we do random inspections on the tenants, we enforce the lease. So you're not dealing with all that nitnoid stuff. You got to think about there's a lot of moving parts in a rental, and there's a lot of important things to do, but they're all what I would call low-value tasks. Do you really want to spend your money texting and calling a tenant going, where's my money? Where's my money? Where's my money? So we have automated systems. They get an automated email. They get an automated text. We call them every single day. Well, where's my money? Where's the money? So obviously we're polite, but we can't have someone not comply with the lease. If you allow them to pay late, then all you're doing is training them to pay late. So you really have to stay on them. Now, we're not asset managers. We're property managers. So you still take care of your taxes. You take care of your mortgage. You take care of your insurance and such. But we take care of the relationship between the tenant and the landlord, right? And the maintenance situation. So something happens, we get somebody out there handle it. We have an auto scheduling tool that's fantastic. So I'm pretty proud of what we've built. I trust my properties to Renters Warehouse. Love to have lunch with anybody that is interested and wants to talk real estate. That's, if you got a few houses and you want a suggestion, I'm happy to do that. I'd love for folks to come out to the Republic Country Club. It's the 3rd Wednesday, and if you post your email in the comments, we'll add you to the the invite list, and you'll get an automated, the email that says, hey, here, don't forget, RSVP here, all that kind of stuff. But Eddie and I have been doing this for years, and we'll put between 500, 600, and 1,000 people in that room every month, and it's a neat event. There's 30 plus vendors outside. It's covered though, but there's 30 plus vendors outside that you can leverage to help your business or learn from. Just having conversations with some of these vendors is great. Free beer. Alex, how do you argue with free beer, right? He's nodding, believe me. He agrees. Free food, free beer. So last month we had barbecue. It was good. The brisket was fantastic. So we do that every month, and then we'll have some some technical topics we'll go over. Some people enjoy that. Some people just want to be there to network, so they'll stay outside with the vendors and do their networking. The inside is for the folks that want to hear what we have to say and possibly learn something or have some input. We always take some live questions at the end to try to answer anything that's on people's mind. We love to do that event. April is going to be big, so if anybody is free the third Wednesday in April, Mark Dotzer is going to come. And now Mark is a retired economist at Texas A&M. So he was the head of the real estate school there, and he makes his living now going around talking about the economy and what real estate's going to do or not do and possibly do. And you say, I don't want to listen to an economist speak. Believe me, you do. The guy's hilarious. He's engaging, and he's as bright as a person you've ever met. It will be a big crowd, so get your RSVP in and come on out. There'll still be free beer and free food, and Mark will be there, and you won't believe the value you get out of listening to Mark talk. He's fantastic, and I'm excited to see it. I missed it last year. I think I was snow skiing last year. They had it during spring break, so I took the boy to what was the name of that place? Now, one of those damn Colorado, Copper Mountain. So I took the boy skiing, and, well, the whole family went, but me and the boy get on the Black Diamonds and act like we're some kind of superstar skiers, and I hurt myself about 15 minutes in, so I gimped around the rest of the time, but I still did the best I could. I'm no pro like he is. He learned to ski when he was about 4 and, acted like some kind of professional downhill skier and going down Black Diamonds when he's 6 years old. I just don't know. I like Black Diamonds too, but I don't know how a 6-year-old could have done it. But I thought the first time he wanted to go down to a double Black Diamond, I thought his mother was going to kill me if he got hurt. And so I'm afraid of my wife, by the way. So he says, I want to go down a double Black Diamond, and I'm trying to figure out how to distract him and talk him out of this because I don't want any part of him breaking his leg or what have you, busting his head open, because back then nobody wore helmets. So he busts his head open and has an aneurysm such. I got a problem with mama. So finally he convinces me. I find one that's kind of a real short run. He fell one time, kind of slid down one time. Didn't really have any issues with it. So then we ski these double Black Diamonds the rest of the time, and I try not to kill myself. But he's a knucklehead. They say when you have girls, so I have 2 girls and 1 boy. And they say when you have girls, you got to protect them from people, all the time. They say don't let them, you got to watch out for the boys. Well, with your sons, you got to protect them from themselves because they're dumbasses. They get themselves in all kinds of trouble, Hey, buddy, where are you going? Oh, we're camping out. Isn't that private property? Oh, no. Hey, Daddy, can we come camp out in the yard? The police made us leave. I told you, you dipshit. Why are you camping out over there? So you deal with this constantly. But the girls, oh, Lord. I would say the girls cost about 2.5 times as much and cause about 10 times the heartache. I don't know what to do when they start crying. I just get out of the way. Let mama go. And this month I'll be a grandpa for the first time. So that's kind of cool. I've never been a grandpa before, so I've always made a joke about being a grandparent. It's so great because you get all the good part of having a kid, but when they poop themselves or start acting up or they get tired, you just give them back. So I kind of like that. I mean, I don't want to deal with the dirty diaper if I don't have to. I kind of like just, hey, here you go, you handle it. But anyway, that's kind of the deal. It's more towards the end of March, and I think I'll be a professional grandpa because I like playing with babies anyway, whether they belong to me or not. And anyway, Renters Warehouse, rentersross.com, 713-224-RENT's our little phone number. I really appreciate everybody listening. I know this is kind of a rookie endeavor for me. I've not been on the radio before too much. I've done guest spots, occasionally, but I've not done my own deal, and I'm excited about hopefully providing value to folks and helping other people build a little bit of wealth. like Mark said earlier, Renters Warehouse is built because we care about people, right? Um, if you care about people, it shows. If you do the right thing when nobody's looking, that's important. I don't know if you've ever heard of Gringos, but there's a fellow that owns Gringos. That's what he says: do the right thing when nobody's looking. So thanks everybody. Enjoyed it. Look forward to seeing you next week. Thanks.